Welcome to our Victorian. Today I was putting some tubes in the tires of my garden tractor, and after I got one done I thought to myself, hey, the viewers might like to know how this is done. Putting air in the tire is easy, changing a tire is not so hard, but putting a tube inside the tire, it gets a little bit involved. Now the front tires on a garden tractor aren't too bad. You can do it with a screwdriver and probably some like not so good tools. I've actually done that in the past, but for the rear tires on these, you really got to have some tools or else it's going to just be a serious lot of work and you're probably going to hurt yourself, so it's better to get the right tools. Now, I'm going to show you how I did it. This is by no means correct. If you have a better way to do it or something that makes more sense, be sure to comment below. Tell me how bad of a job I'm doing below. However, I do have a tire on here and it's done and it works. So even if this may not be the prettiest way to do it, it definitely gets the job done. And I'm gonna take you through it step by step of what I've done here. Now, the tires on this tractor are pretty dry rotted. There's no way they will hold air, so tubes are the only way to go. Tires on this are gonna run me probably like 120 to 150 a piece. At least when I priced them, I can only find them on the rim and they're pretty expensive. So rather than go that route, I was able to find tubes on Amazon. I think I paid $20 for 2 of them, so that's a great deal. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these in here. You can also check, local stores. If you have stores around that carry supplies like that, they will probably have tubes. You're just gonna wanna check what the side measurements are on the tire, and it'll tell you like what size it is. Like for instance, these are 23 by 8.5-12. So that's the size tube I need that'll fit in here. So that's what we're putting in here today. So first off, let's go ahead and get the tire off. Now, fortunately, all I have is this bottle jack. We just moved into our Victorian, so I don't have a lot of tools and stuff yet. I still need to buy some stuff like a car jack. I left mine at my old house and I'm regretting it because all the ones I can find are like $200 and I don't really want to spend that much money. So I'm going to use this bottle jack. The only problem is I can't get this underneath here to jack anything up. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and use a simple machine here and do this the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to make sure I have my bottle jack about where I want it to be. Put a board here against these tires. We're going to stick another board under here long ways. And then if you're a strapping young lad such as myself, you should be able to just step on it and rise it up. Now if you're not, then you might need to get a friend to help you out. But for me, I'm able to just lift this up with one foot, slide the bottle jack on under here with a stick. And there we go. Now I'm well aware that's not a jacking point, but for all the longer I'm going to have this on here, it should be fine. Next step, you're going to want to go and jack it up. If you have jack stands, they'll be helpful for you. Alright. Well, it wants to list to that side, that's okay. Put that heavy bag more on this side, maybe that'll keep it tipped over. Alright. Now we gotta get the tire off. This is just like taking a car tire off. My air compressor died on me, so I'm just using a breaker bar and a socket to get it off of there, and we'll go from there. This isn't rocket science. Now you can see this has been sitting for a while like this. This tire's really deformed. You can see how dry rotted it is. Even with the tube in here, I don't know how much life is left in these, but you know what? We're gonna run them till they rip apart. So I don't use this tractor for anything but sort of just cruising around the yard anyways. So it doesn't even matter if it goes flat. I don't drive very fast. I'm not using it for anything too intense. Now, if you have tires like this and you're planning on using a rototiller or plow or mowing or really anything, I would suggest to just get new tires, but if you're just going to use it, you know, to putz around on and basically use it as like a golf cart, then you should be fine, even if these tires are in this bad a shape, once you get your inner tube in there. Now, you're going to want to put, like I said, jack stand or something under here. Obviously, stay away from this. If this falls, you get seriously injured. And of course, on this channel, I don't know what I'm doing, so you should never really try to do anything that I do on this channel. I'm just going to say that up front. So please comment below if there's something else I should be doing here. So pardon the road noise, I've had to move to the front of my garage and open the door up here. But this next part you're not going to be able to get around. You need to get yourself one of these. Harbor Freight, if you got one in your area, sells these for $39.99. If you catch it with a coupon or on sale, you might be able to get it for less. But this is a manual tire changer. This does not work on small tires like the front tires for a garden tractor, but this certainly works on the rear tires or car tires. So we're going to go ahead and use this. This is supposed to be mounted to the floor. There are screw or bolt holes for it, or you mount it to a pallet or something to that nature. I'm not doing any of that in this video, so I'm just going to smash it up against the rear tire of my Ferris here and step on the other side of it to hold it down to the ground. And it worked last time, so it'll work this time. Like I said, if you're not my size, you might have to bolt this down to something, but you might be able to just get it to go. If you have a friend who can stand on it or something, you'll make it happen. You're gonna need this, and actually the most useful thing that comes with this is this item right here. This is cool, but this is very helpful. And then of course you're gonna need your inner tube. And inner tubes, if you've never seen one, just look like this. Just like your bicycle. So if you've never used one of these before, don't worry. This is only my second time using one. So comment below all the stuff I'm about to do wrong. But we're still gonna get that inner tube in here anyways. First comment, don't use your expensive commercial zero turn as a workbench. Now the first step, even though this tire's all messed up, we're gonna need to break the bead on here. And that's what this lower part is for. And we'll slide this back and hopefully you can see what I'm gonna do. So this part lifts up and there's a little groove, or I'm sorry, not groove, there's a little bump on here. You can get this tire to sit on that, and then this goes right along your rim like that. From there, you can insert this and break that bead. Now you're going to need to use your foot and push to keep everything lined up. For me, I'm going to push this back against my Ferris like I said, and then from there, should just be a matter of pushing down to break that bead. So now we have both seals broke on this. Now what we can do is go ahead and put this up on the tire changer. Now they give you this little thing here. Make sure it goes through one of the bolt holes. On the tire. We'll put our little pieces together and tighten this down. Just like that. Now the next step is going to be actually getting the tire up off of here so we can easily put the inner tube in. So we're going to start with this side. This works a lot easier if you put something on here to lubricate this. Water by itself, soapy water is probably going to be best. All I could find since we moved is this leather care product, so I'm just gonna squirt that down in here. Feel free to comment. And then from there, we're just gonna stick this in, and we're gonna pop it up to get started. Okay, see how we got it started here? Now I'm gonna need to shove this back against my tire here so I can pull around on this. This is the part where having this bolted down would be ideal. And then hopefully you can see here, all I'm doing is just putting my leg into it, putting some pressure on it, and just pulling this around. And see how the tire's just coming off of there real nice like? So nice. Right off of there. Alright, now I got plenty of space to put my inner tube in there. We just got to make sure we get the valve stem out. Probably could have done this on the other side to make getting the valve stem easier. The valve stem I'm just going to cut off anyways though. So it's not something I intend to keep because the inner tube comes with one mounted. So we're just going to go ahead and rip that out of there with a pair of pliers real quick, and then we'll feed the new one through the hole on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. When all else fails, if you got to, you know, just use a razor to cut it off of there. We're not, like I said, we're not reusing it. I don't know if you can see it down in there or not. This is what we're going for right here. Okay. Now, if you got a sharp blade, you ought to be able to go right through that. You cut the back off, the rest of it, like I said, you can just push through, no problem. So we are most of the way there, believe it or not. Now we want to get this inner tube in there. Pay attention to where your valve stem is, because obviously you're going to want to put that where it needs to go first. So let's just go ahead and start out with getting that valve stem portion on in there. Okay, now that valve stem is through. Now what I like to do is once that valve stem is through the hole, go and take that cap off. I like to put something on the other end of it so it won't pull back through. There may be an actual tool for this, and I hope that there is. If there is, please comment below. If not, I'm going to show you how I do it so it doesn't pull back through. What I'll do is my air gauge locks on it. So what I'll do is I'll just keep pressure on it, and I will actually just lock that on the bottom of it, so now it won't pull through. And then once that's on there, then really it's just a matter of getting this tube around this rim and then the tire back on. So that's where this big tool is going to come in handy, and we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, now that may take a few tries to get good, but that's only the second time I've ever done it, and I think that went pretty smooth. Alright, so when it comes to putting these tires back on here, you go and start with your tire, and you're going to need to get the tire to ride on the bead here, so you're going to want to actually get up under in the rim here, and then have the tire actually sitting up on here. Now, you can push down on quite a bit of this, and you're going to need to keep downward pressure on this bead, but from there, you should be able to just muscle this around, okay, and stretch this tire out. Now, keep in mind, everything I'm doing would be 100 times easier if this was bolted to the ground. Oh, well, it slipped off, so I'm going to have to try and get this on here again. If that's giving you a lot of trouble, what you can do is you can take this bar, the other side of it, and you can push down this bead, and you can try to just manhandle this thing into place. These tires are real tight sometimes, so you might not have much luck doing it this way. I showed you basically how it's supposed to be, and then I just showed you how to get her done. So you can try to ride around here. If this thing's mounted to the floor, using this tool the way it's supposed to be used may just work. If not, use that end. So I got my portable compressor since my big air compressor is not working right now. This also has a locking stem on here. I could have probably put this on there instead of my actual gauge here, but normally, like I said, I would blow this up with my regular air compressor. Now we're gonna get a pair of small pliers to hold that valve stem out while I hook this on there. Don't let that valve stem sink back in there. If it does, you're gonna pull that tire off probably and fish it out again and go back through the whole process, so be mindful. Like I said, if there's a tool that locks that on there, which it probably is, please comment below so we all know. So I'm just gonna use these pliers. You can use whatever pliers you want. The only thing you want to be careful of is just not to crush the valve stem. Don't rip it, don't crush it, or anything like that. I am only holding this just out far enough to clip this on. And that's on there. Hemostats would probably work real good. Actually, get yourself a set of hemostats. That'd probably be the best thing. Now for air pressure on this, I just set it to 40 pounds initially. All I'm really waiting for is for that air tube to fill up for this to pop and reseat itself. If you were changing a tire and not putting a tube in, you'd want to clean this rim up. You'd want to make sure everything's nice and clean. You'd want to put some sealant on that tire so it makes a nice bead and all that. But for sticking tubes in tires, you know, we can be a little bit sloppy. And that's why I sort of like tubes on stuff like this. Alright, so this tire was popping around 20 PSI, give or take. You heard it pop. That was the tire seating itself, so that's all you're listening for. Now with that slow little portable compressor, it took forever. Normally if you're filling this with a big compressor, you know, that would happen right away, but you know, we got the air in it, it's round. There's a bead all the way around, it's seated. What I would do is I will hit this with my actual compressor whenever I get time, but for right now, that tire is round and good to go. So we got our tube in here and we got some more life in this tire now. Who knows how long it'll last before that dry rot finally gives out and this thing just shreds, but like I said, with that air tube in there, you know, we're gonna get a lot of extra use out of this before I gotta spend $100 for a new one. So let's go ahead and put it back on the tractor, and that's pretty much just the reverse of how we took it off, so that ain't nothing. Let's go do it. This is the part where having my air going to be a lot easier. These tires only go one way. And if you try to put them on there the wrong way, you'll know real quick that ain't right. So you'll have to spin them around and do all kinds of stuff. Because there's no studs on these, and the actual bolts themselves act as the studs, having a screwdriver to like put in the hole to sort of help hold on there would be very helpful, I feel. But you know, you work with what you got. I didn't have a screwdriver on me, so I'm just trying to hold on here with my foot. Be sure to keep all your body parts out from under the tractor while you're doing this. Even though my foot looks like it's there, there's nothing really under it. So if this did fall, I'd be okay. This channel is mostly just for your amusement anyhow, so don't do what I do here. Once you get a couple bolts started in here, then that's a lot easier. It's just a guy getting a car wheel on. Once you got your bolts back on, go ahead and take your jack out, lower it down, and tighten them up again. If you have a torque wrench, torque them to specs, and that's pretty much it. So you can do it. Takes a little bit of effort. If I wasn't making the video, this probably would have taken me 15 minutes maybe. The first one I did actually took a little bit less time. It went real smooth. I think because of making the video, this took a little longer. If you had that tire thing bolted down, this would go very smooth. It's just trying to do it the way I do it. Takes a lot more effort, a lot more time, a lot more start overs. Bolt that thing down if you get one. Things will go real smooth. Join me next time I show you how to do the front tires on, put a tube in. Comments, please below. I need your help. We need your help at our Victorian. Let me know what's going on, how I can do this better. I have more tractors. I'm going to need to do this eventually on those. Let me know. Please like, please subscribe to the channel. I need your help. I hardly know what I'm doing, and all of your comments are appreciated. Once again, thank you for joining us at our Victorian. You have a great day. All right, let's jack this back up again. Perfect.